Shalom, shalom, family. Take a look at this. I write down all of my visions that I see in trance, okay? And I write down the dates and everything next to it. Next to the one that I'm about to show you guys, I wrote down the 31st. Yeah, so at the end of August, I seen this in a vision. I hope you guys can really see it. It looked like a 6 and a 9, right? Like a kind of twister, right? And if you look at hurricanes and tornadoes from space satellite point of view, you will see that it looks like kind of spiral. You understand? And I kept seeing this, and I wasn't understand, like, why I keep seeing this. And sometimes I ask spirit, but spirit will like not tell me nothing until the next day, maybe a few days. Someone will confirm and say, like, look, something you showed me or you saw, it actually happened. You understand? Like, a lot of you has asked me about time frames. When do I feel like some of these things will happen? But the thing is, sometimes spirit does not give me time frames. I just see things and I will get nothing more. Okay, but today I woke up. Was it today? Yeah, I think it was today. It could have been today or yesterday when I first seen this, but I didn't really, because I think I have seen it yesterday, but I didn't really acknowledge it, and I acknowledged it today. Okay, and I seen the news article, many news articles talking about Hurricane Danielle, right? Or I think it's a hurricane, and it's the first one of 2022. Now, it's nothing too out of the ordinary about that. See, this is where things get tricky, okay? Because it is hurricane season, so these things are supposed to happen, right? You know, you have Dallas flooding, you have the Mississippi River flooding. These things, they commonly happen. However, they seem to get worse and worse every year. That is what we must look at. Not the event itself, but the magnitude to which they continue to seem to get worse, okay? Because that shows us it's a conversation of earth, you know, with your body, okay? You see a little bump, and it's just a bump at first, and then soon it gets really big. Then you see, like, damn, it's a tumor or whatever the case may be. Then you realize, like, all right, I should not pay attention to this, okay? So that's the kind of thing that we're dealing with here, and I feel like I personally would not focus on how things look so much now, because I feel like in the next few years or so, things will start to look really crazy, okay? Like, I feel like you know, natural disasters like comets and powerful volcanic eruptions and droughts and food shortages and things like that, we're like a year away. It's almost like they keep passing us like this, okay? But we're dancing on a thin rope as we continue to move forward, okay? And so these little things that you're seeing right now, that's like getting washed out on the media, it soon enough will be, if we don't do anything, because we have the power to change this. And that's why I'm making this video in the first place, and I take the time to make these videos, is because I do believe that there is hope. That is something that I don't want you guys to think that we don't have, okay? Everything is not going to shit, excuse my language, okay? But I do believe that there is hope, all right? And I do feel like we are the hope, we are the light. And it starts by just making changes in yourself. Be the change you want to see, okay? So for me, that's having the courage to make these kinds of videos. That's what I can offer to the world right now, and to use resources more wisely and things of that nature and sort. The same goes for you all. You know, there's things that you guys can offer, and it does not have to be big. It does not have to be money. It could even just be love and prayers, okay? So we can change things, and there's hope, and that's why I make these videos. It makes me light up when I think of that. But anyway, yeah, just don't get caught up in that, because when you search up food shortages and you go on these governmental websites, they'll tell you it's nothing to worry about. But then you'll see so many people from so many different places showing their grocery markets is empty. You understand? So what they want us to know, versus, because it's their job, they have to explain things. Understand that they're put in front of us to explain things. If they can't explain things, how do you think the people will feel? Everybody start to panic. We'll start to trust them less. They know that. So they hire people. You know, when I learned this, it was so crazy. Like, a lot of y'all food will say our food. Sorry, guys. Our food will say FDA approved. right? But then when you really look into it, these food corporations and companies, they're paying people to do research for them to approve some of the, to say like some of the stuff that they use is healthy when it's really killing so many people. That is why I had to change my diet, the way that I eat over the past 2 years. I've changed it rapidly. I don't eat meat anymore. I don't drink dairy. None of these things. I stay away from these. I might have a little dairy every once and then when I'm like, I have nothing else to eat and I'm over at someone's home or something like that, and I just have a little bit of that. But I generally don't eat these things anymore. You know, and seafood has become one of those things that I'm like turned off by almost completely now, because the condition of our sea is so polluted. You understand? And when you see the conditions that they're taking what they call our food from, is just insane. Okay, so yeah, on that note, again, don't believe what they're telling y'all is normal. Think and see for yourself. All right. Next thing about Hurricane Daniel is the name. Pay attention to the name. If any of y'all know Hebrew, you would know the name means judgment. What have I been talking about in my video for the past couple of days is that we are in biblical times, okay? I don't know who's making these movies and stuff in Hollywood. If y'all watch the movie Nope and you see it looks like a UFO, but it's actually an alien here observing our Earth and stuff like that. It's on time. Literally everything I've been telling y'all about X chromosome upgrades and there being extraterrestrial beings here guiding our the Earth's shift into the age of Aquarius. Okay, I don't know who's making these movies. I don't know who's coming up with these names for the hurricanes. The island I told y'all about, Ascension Island, okay, with the volcanic eruption I received the coordinates for. All of these things, they connect. Pay attention to the little details. But the name Daniel means, like I said, judgment, okay, or God's judge. God has judged. All right, and I always say these are the things that we overlook, but it's Earth having a conversation for us. Because don't let folks fool you. We think we all are separated and someone just did that randomly. No, we're under a collective grid. We're under a collective energy that we're all feeling and experiencing right now. So I'm having some of these visions. Guess what? There's so many other people around the world having like visions just like me. You understand? And it was so, I had the pleasure to speak to some of you guys on I believe it was like 2 videos before this one. There's 2 people that said they had, under the same comment, they said they had dreams about volcanoes just like I did, like I had visions. You understand? So it's like when you pay attention to this, you realize like again, the Earth is having a conversation with us. It's talking to us, and it's up to us to be able to recognize and appropriately do something about it. Otherwise, these little things will turn into bigger things, right? They say little hinges swing big doors, right? You see the hinges on the side of a door? It opens these large ass doors. So you got to understand these little details is important to pay attention to, because these are the very things that make us feel like we can go on living the same way for forever, and until something happens and you see you've seen it in your own neighborhood that things is changing. I think COVID was a big example of that for a lot of people. They was actually able to see. Remember when COVID happened, everybody thought the world was ending, right? They never saw it coming. But when it comes to before COVID, how people wash their hands before they go inside their home, how they take care of their immune system for the foods they eat, and never really pay attention to those things. Always wrote it off like you a nerd, or you lame, or you being too nitpicky and these kinds of things. Always thought it was just like nothing to worry about, okay? And when I look into history and these critical points in history, again in Earth precession, when certain civilizations have failed, what they call shamans and healers and channels, they would be telling people like things. The Clovis culture, the South American culture, they have a lot of stories about it where, you know, these again channels, they would have dreams and visions and things like that, and they would talk to people about it. They would tell people, but because they were so caught up in their way of living, right, for where they was at, because I don't feel like civilization has only come to the pinnacle now, but I believe that thousands of years in our past, our ancestors may have surprised us with what their civilizations was looking at. Look at all the amazing structures that they built just thousands of years ago. We aren't even talking about 10, 12,000 years ago, and before that 20,000 years ago. We're only talking about 5, 6, 7, 9,000 years ago, okay? So if we see what their civilizations was looking back then, and how people probably were living and got caught up in the same traps, which we're dealing with some of that trauma now. Okay, some of that same what's it called, toxic masculine mindset of just draining the earth, okay, and greed and evilness, killing each other and things like that, when we could really put all of that aside and change the course of history. Okay, there's a sign from nature right there. No, let me stop. But yeah, if we look back at those points in times, again, just like how some people are ignorant today and chose to overlook these things, is the same thing that happened back then. Remember, when, if not fixed, history repeats itself. Okay, and that's all that I like to do. I just like to, because I have an interest for these things. I feel like I have a strong connection to my ancestors from the past, and I just want to be a guide for many of you right now, okay, the best way that I can. So when these things come to me, I don't even wait a day. I just share it how it comes to me. Okay, try to give it everything to you guys raw, vulnerable, transparent. You guys can ask me questions about my visions if you like, and to the best, I will tell you guys what I feel, okay, and then I will tell you when I think it's my opinion. So I'll separate my vision from my opinions of my visions, okay. And I could talk to you guys about some of the visions that you've been having as well. And hopefully we can continue to build a community and continue to spread awareness. So I ask you guys as a favor to just like and to share this video so it can reach more people. Comment if you like as well. Like I said, that also helps the algorithm build so it can reach more people and spread more awareness of some of these things. And we can actually change and stop a lot of the suffering that's going on in the world. So other than that, again, like I always say, take it easy, guys. You know, take things a day at a time. Pay attention to what you got going on in your life, because it starts at home, right? You can't really be a savior in the world if you're not a savior in your own life. Okay, it just doesn't work like that. If it first starts with you, it starts with your household, it starts with your community, your immediate community, and what you can do to help others, and then it builds out like that. Okay, these are things that I try to tell myself every day. But otherwise, I will leave the link in my description below to my shop, where me and my partner Taylor, we use our intuitive gifts to help you guys. Okay, so Taylor's a tarot reader. She's also an astrologer. I'm also an astrologer, and I'm also a dream guide. Okay, so if you guys need help understanding your dreams, or if you want me to consult my dream source or our dream source, because it's, again, we are under one collective, okay, then I can consult our dream source and channel guidance for you guys. I can even channel in meditation and access what they call the Akashic records, things of that nature, and sort to help guide you guys. Okay, so all of that will be, all of the information for that will be in the description below. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace, take it easy. Love you all.